Jesus is alive. What is going on, guys? Welcome to our second week where in Monday Devotions, we're going to be talking about why Jesus is still alive to this day. He is still alive. He's not a thing of the past. He's not dead. He's alive in us and all around us to this day. And so last week we had Mr. Brown come and talk about how history proves he's still alive, how historical events have happened that prove Jesus is still alive. And this week, we're going to have Coach Cayla talk to us about how the presence of God, it can come around us right now, where you're at, where you're sitting, when you just pray and when you just worship the Lord, how His presence can just come upon you right there and right now. And so today, I'm going to be reading a passage from Luke 24, and this is actually the passage before the passage I read last week, where we talked about how Jesus showed himself to the disciples. He showed the holes in his hands and feet and proved that he was still alive to the disciples. But this story is actually before that happens. And it's a story of two of the disciples who are walking on the street back to Jerusalem. And they're actually walking, and a stranger comes up to them, and they don't recognize them. And that stranger actually turns out to be Jesus. And so while they're walking, Jesus is talking to them, and they're like, who is this stranger? And then Jesus starts asking them questions about what all has happened. And they're like, you don't know what's happened? Jesus has died. Jesus of Nazareth has died. And they're saying he's rose again. And they tell him all the drama, all the stuff that Jesus had done in his lifetime, everything that had happened to that point. And the reason this story is so powerful is because they're talking to Jesus the whole time, but they don't recognize him. So I'm going to pick up in Luke 24, verse 28. And this is when they're approaching the village that they're finally trying to get to. And so here we go. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus acted as if he were going no further. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening. The day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him. He disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" They got up and returned at once to Jerusalem. They found the 11 and those with them assembled together, and saying, "It is true, the Lord has risen and appeared to Simon." Then the two told them what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke bread. So, as y'all can see in this story, they were walking the street with Jesus. They had no idea it was him. He was talking to them about all that had happened through Jesus's life, and they were saying how he had died and all the drama that had been going on around Jerusalem. And now, when Jesus sat down with them and had dinner with them, he broke the bread, and their eyes were opened as they saw that the Spirit of God, Jesus in the living flesh, was with them. And their eyes were opened, and they were like, how could we have not seen this the whole time? And so I think this is so relevant for how Jesus' presence is always with us, is because even when they were walking the road, Jesus was there, but they didn't know they were there. And so I feel like sometimes some of us, we can just be going through our lives and not knowing that Jesus is there all the time. No matter what your struggle is, no matter what you're going through, he is with you all the time. He's always there. All you have to do is call upon him, seek him with all your heart. And when you pray and worship him, his presence will show up in a mighty way. And that's all you have to do is just say that simple prayer. Lord, just show up in a mighty way in my life, Lord. Just help me today through what I'm struggling with. And he'll show up in an instant, guys. I promise. He'll change your life. He'll do all these things just by showing up in the room. And it's just such a great thing when you feel the Lord's presence with you. So no matter what you're going through, guys, I just encourage you. The Lord is with you. He's always been there with you, and he's not given up on you, guys. So just believe that today. And here's Coach Cayla with her message.
Hey, ACS, hope you're doing good. I miss you, Coach Cayla here. And we've been talking about the Lord's presence. So today we're going to talk about the living presence. How do we know? How can we tell the Lord the living presence day to day? So a couple of things. Here's the thing. When you get saved, the Holy Spirit comes in your heart, right? He never leaves you. But it's our job to grow closer to the Lord every day. We need to read the Word. We need to pray. We need to worship, right? And that Holy Spirit, we want to hear Him. We want Him to speak to us. And the way we can do that, we want to grow closer to the Lord so we can hear and know His presence, right? I challenge my Bible class to read a Proverbs a day. When I read a Proverbs, it's going to speak to me in the way that I need it, more so when Roxy reads it or Zach reads it or something. So the Lord can speak to you through the Word, right? I can sense His presence when I read the Word. Man, hey, you need to work on that. Hey, get a grip, right? And I can hear the Lord's presence also when I'm worshiping, right? When you hear those worship songs, man, you can't help but get a fire inside of you that says, man, that is right. That is the Holy Spirit. That is the Lord's presence in your life, right? If you need guidance, where to go to college, if you have a big decision, if you're struggling, you get in the Word and you get on your knees and you pray for peace, and the Lord can bring peace, right? A famous runner, 1924 Olympics, Eric Liddell, he said, I know the Lord made me for a purpose, but I also know He made me fast. And when I run, I feel His presence. When you are doing your sport, whatever the Lord has designed you, given you different talents and abilities, you can feel His presence. Do it for Him, right? Run for Him. Play baseball for Him, right? And He can help you when you need it. So the Lord, here's the thing. You want the Lord's presence to be loud and clear what you should do? Get in the Word. Get on your knees in prayer. Worship Him, right? And He can speak to you. He will never leave you nor forsake you, right? Delight thyself also in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. He will direct your path, right? The Lord's presence is so amazing. But in order to really feel the Lord's presence, for Him to give you a peace, for Him to give you joy, the fruit of the Spirit, joy, love, patience, you've got to get in the Word and spend some time with Him. So I hope you have a good relationship with the Lord. I hope you're reading, hope you're praying, hope you're worshiping. And man, you can feel the Holy Spirit, and He can talk to you, and He can give you peace and joy and love. So my challenge to you is to spend some time with the Lord today and truly seek His presence. Lord, speak to me. Lord, show me that answer where I should go to college. And He will bring you peace, love, joy. I love you guys, and I miss you, and I hope you have a great day. See you later.